and welcome to On Track GP. We've only got another 2 weeks to wait until we are back on the grid. But in the meantime, we've got lots of pressing issues to talk about. One being, what on earth is going wrong at Ferrari and how can they fix it? And who better to have this conversation with than Matisse?
Yep.
Hello. and Ferrari fan Joe.
Oh man, I don't want to talk about it.
I'm sure you don't want to talk about it, but we do have to talk about it. I mean, they haven't hit the podium.
Nope.
There was high hopes coming into this season. Again, they had brand new team principal in Frederick Vasseur.
Yeah.
And it looks to be that they're even worse than last year.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Worst start to a season in a long time. And the expectation was so high at the start of the season as well. Like, I was genuinely like, I think I predicted they might win the constructors or something. I feel like a bit of an idiot now. It's just been one disaster after another for Ferrari, and it's really sad.
I mean, there was so much hope, so much expectation. You know, Sainz and Leclerc meant to be at the front of the grid, pushing Verstappen. Strategy was obviously meant to improve, no mistakes, reliability to improve as well, no engine failures, no issues there. But unfortunately, we've seen Leclerc go out of races quite early, having to start from crazy positions as well from qualifying. And Sainz, to be fair to him in the last race, stepped up.
He was unfortunate.
Yeah, he stepped up.
Really,
bad.
really
And he's really
unfortunate.
angry. He's fuming.
He was crying in the car. Did you hear him?
He said
literally crying.
He said he didn't want to speak to the cameras.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, I agree.
In my opinion, that penalty was seriously harsh in Australia. And for anyone who has forgotten what happened, I mean, Joe, you can fill him back in if you'd like.
Yeah. Again, do I want to talk about it?
Yes.
He got a 5-second penalty, which normally would knock you down one place, but it knocked him down 8 places, and finished in 12th with no points. It's just unduly harsh for a racing incident. You know, maybe if it was a penalty, maybe one place is fair, but to lose 8 and get no points,
it all finished behind the safety car. And also, I think what a lot of the controversy came from is the fact that Alpine had a crash, right?
Yeah.
No penalising there. I think Sargent went into the back of someone at the back of the grid. No penalising there. So there was other moments where you could say, where are the penalties coming from? And it was only Sainz that took one, because he's obviously at the front of the grid.
Yeah.
And that's where the attention is.
Yeah, it's not looking good. But actually, Carlos Sainz has been the better of the two drivers, you'd have to say. Yeah,
I mean, I still think Leclerc is a quicker, generally, driver. Qualifying, he seems to be better, and his race pace last season obviously was a lot better as well. I think he's been very unfortunate. 2 DNFs, and then when he did score some points, he was starting back in 15th or something, or 16th, really far back down the grid in Jeddah. So I don't know. It's Ferrari basically need to have a more consistent car and a quicker car, and need to start winning in it. Those are the 3 things they need. There's so much that they need to do in the Ferrari camp. It's not good at all.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we all thought that they had fixed their engine problems at the end of 2022. Obviously, Binotto, he resigned a few days after the season ended as well, and in came Vasseur. And they looked good, didn't they? Before the season started, in testing and even in practice in those early sessions, the car looked to be competitive. So I'm still not quite sure I understand where these technical issues are coming from. Obviously, we know about the strategy. That is still something that is a big problem. But the technical issues, where's it coming from, Matisse?
It's just, for me, I have no idea, because like you said, last season we could understand it was kind of a conveyor belt of issues constantly, and they, in the end, how many engines did they use last year? It came to a point where they were going to get penalised almost for it.
I don't know.
Just a mess. But this season we see first race Leclerc, bang, immediately, and it's like, wow, deja vu. And the thing is with Ferrari, I don't know if there's any upgrades coming in this break as well. Alonso kind of hinted that a lot of teams could have upgrades coming, so maybe things will change a little bit in that battle. I don't expect Red Bull to be caught right now. I think it's the fight between Mercedes, Ferrari, and Aston Martin. And if Ferrari, their mistakes are more costly this year because Aston Martin's come into the fold, and that's without even bringing in Alpine. I think Alpine are not completely done here.
Yeah.
They could take points off Ferrari if Ferrari keep playing around. You know, Alpine will be the next ones up. So it's going to be a tough one. Yeah.
On the upgrades, Ferrari have said that they're rushing as quick as they can to get the upgrades. They want them by Imola, which is 2 races quicker than they were initially expecting. So we will see some changes, but. But it's just really difficult times for Ferrari, really not good.
Yeah, it's not. And in terms of, upgrading the car, do you think they're going to kind of stick with the design that they've gone for. Because
they've said there's no B spec for the car coming. They're gonna stick with it. The thing is, I think the sport is under so much.
Scrutiny.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly the word. More than maybe ever before.
Yeah.
And the last time they had a team principal that was a French guy, Jean Todt, it took him 5 years with Ferrari to get his first championship.
Yeah.
And we're already going, is Fred Vasseur made errors and we're 3 races in. So yeah, well, it's the way he, with 42 days or something after he took over, he was doing his first race. So it's I don't know. I think with the sport being under so much scrutiny, exactly as the words you've just said, we expect things to happen so much quicker.
Yeah.
But that's just, I suppose, that's the nature of the game and the nature of the world. Everything happens so much quicker now. So we expect things to be changing and happening straight away, and it will take time. Ferrari will not have a huge amount of success this year, unfortunately. I think that's we can kind of see that. We thought initially launching the car looks really good, but I think then they're not going to have a huge amount of success this year. There's too many teams better than them.
You do have to have patience because they have new principal, I think new race strategists as well. So promotion. So there is some change. So it's going to take some time to get used to that. As long as the drivers can keep their cool and keep their heads and try and maximise points where they can, then we'll see what happens. Maybe they get better as the season goes on.
Yeah, I see your point. So if we're being honest, then we have to say that Ferrari are going to be in that kind of battle for the mid-table.
God.
Fourth team, I think.
Yeah.
Mercedes are getting the push.
I still
hopefully.
I mean, their ambition will still be second.
Still be second, yeah.
Well, I mean,
exactly.
they'll say it's to try and win the thing, but come on.
To stop.
Their ambition absolutely will be second. How quickly can we bring the upgrades to the car, that kind of thing. But I think you're the realism is that there's a strong chance they're going to be that fourth team, top of the midfield. Aston Martin
depends on
streaks ahead.
Yeah, Aston Martin
streaks ahead.
Depends on the W14 upgrade, I think. But yeah.
Well, you say top of the pack in terms of the midfield, but are you ruling out Alpine?
I wouldn't, but I think I mean, if you finish behind Alpine.
I tell you what is actually a big moment was from Australian. Both of the Alpines crashing out and neither of them scoring points. That did a big help for Ferrari that week. I think Ferrari are better than Alpine. I think they're quicker than, or they are. The car is quicker than Alpine. So, and that's the one sort of positive I think that Ferrari can or should be able to rely on is that they do have two very solid and now very experienced and very quick drivers, particularly in Charles Leclerc. That'll be the one thing they can look. If we can get this car moving, we will score points. But I can't see them winning a huge amount this season.
It's so disappointing, and it's only 6 points to his name. He's level with Hulkenberg. Leclerc, he has said this season is already a disaster.
Quote.
I think I've said it to you before, Joe. If this season carries on, I guess, the way he's looking to be, and let's say they don't finish top of the pack in that midfield, because we don't know, it's a long old season, but let's say they have a really disastrous season as it's looking, what's next for Charles Leclerc? Is he too good to then be in a car which is not competitive enough?
God, would he go searching elsewhere? I mean, that's the magic question. I think fundamentally probably yes. These guys are the best 20 drivers in the world, and they all genuinely think that they can be the best, be the number one. And if they have the opportunity to go to a team where they're more likely to win that, I think probably yes, both of them would be looking to go elsewhere if Ferrari slips away. I don't think they will. I hope they don't.
How long is his contract? Is it
I can't remember off the top of my head, because that's the thing. We don't see so many. It's very rare with the likes of what happened with Daniel Ricciardo, where people get bought out of a contract. Normally it's when your contract ends, and I forget off the top of my head when Charles's runs out. But yeah, it's unlikely we'll see them bought out, particularly because they're on so much money, tens of millions. For them to not be driving for that team is a
How
big
long
expense.
does Lewis Hamilton have left?
He has to sign a new deal. I think his contract expires this season, isn't it?
I think it is.
And that's what the rumour is constantly, will he renew, will he re-sign? I think he will, purely because, of course, he's got a lot invested in Mercedes in terms of his projects as well.
He could retire.
He could and he should not, because we need the next
Yeah, you want 8.
I need 8, so
you need a better car to start doing
that. Don't go anywhere, do you know what I mean? But if the upgrades come, I'm sure he'll be motivated to keep going. I don't think it takes a lot for Lewis to we saw in the last race, Lewis was a lot more like, okay, maybe there's something here. Still feels like the seat is too far forward and, a little bit too close to the front wheels, etc. There's still things that need to be changed for him. But it doesn't take a lot for Lewis to be reignited and fall in love again with the sport. Just needs a competitive car. That's all he wants.
Let me just ask you then, as a Mercedes fan, if Lewis did retire, would you like Charles Leclerc?
In terms of the quality of the driver, you can't say no. In my head, I always wanted to take Lando Norris.
Really?
Pair him up with George.
You'd have Lando over Charles Leclerc?
Now, if
you had both on a plate?
If I had both on a plate, I would lean towards Leclerc because
Okay,
he has shown that he is, capable of fighting at the front of the grid. Norris has not really had that opportunity. But because obviously I just want to see the two British drivers, I want to see the rivalry between Norris and George. I think it looks good on paper that they could be friends and everything. But I feel like there actually could be something there. And because they're both young, they're both going for that same goal. I think the rivalry there would be quite strong. With Leclerc, I feel like if he was to leave Ferrari, he'd never go to. I couldn't see him at Red Bull.
No, would he go Aston
Martin.
Well, Aston Martin looks set.
Stroll,
unless they get rid of Stroll,
reserve driver 1 year. Let the two Spaniards have a
something would have to go seriously wrong for Lance Stroll to be demoted by his own dad.
Yeah, it's unlikely, isn't it?
Seriously.
Yeah. But Alonso will retire at some point.
He will, but
he's in his 40s. He's not going to drive forever. I think he will continue to drive while he's winning.
Opens up.
But if the seat opens up, I mean, that will be a hot seat.
That'll be brilliant.
My God, that's going to be a hot seat.
For that would be incredible, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Leclerc, it would be incredible. Science probably.
Very, very interesting. Okay, well, before we leave, I'd like to know your predictions for Ferrari, just Ferrari, when we come back and we're at Baku.
Oh God!
I love Baku, by the way. What a track!
Unbelievable track.
What a track!
No podium. I think the main thing that Ferrari will want. I can't believe that I'm saying this. The main thing they want is both drivers to finish in the points, and maybe even just both drivers to finish.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I think there's 3 teams ahead of them in terms of pace, and for those guys to not be on the podium, enough of them to not be on the podium that Ferrari do. Maybe Charles Leclerc will come out and have an absolute worldie, but as it stands, I think maybe 6th and a 7th, 5th and a 7th, something like that.
What do you reckon?
I'm going to give Leclerc 5th and Sainz 7th.
I think Sainz gets done so dirty.
He does.
I really think he does.
Yep, he does.
Yeah.
I said my eyes are on him. He's only had one race where I'm impressed. I think the other races have been a bit of a tough one for him.
It's just crazy how quickly our opinions have changed. Because at the top of the season, we were all talking like, Ferrari. We know they're solid. Yeah. They've fixed things. They're looking in a good place. And now we're sitting here going, it'll be great if they can get both cars across the line. Yeah. I mean, how sad is that, man?
Got to walk before you can run, hey? Get both cars across the line.
Well, the only saving grace for you, Joe, and Ferrari is that we have got another 2-week break. They're going to be trying their best to make these changes as much as they can during this time before an upgrade essentially comes, and hopefully make the car more competitive. But I look forward to seeing what Ferrari offer in Azerbaijan.
This is such a race leader.
Yeah, such a Red Bull. And to be fair,
I look forward to seeing what you can put up against us. Good luck, champ.
It's actually not put up against us, it's put up against you.
Yeah, true, yeah.
How much can you challenge Mercedes? Don't worry about us.
I'll just see you later. See you later, Abby. Bye.
Yeah, literally, that's Verstappen all season. He's just like, see you guys. Yeah. And then gets to like lap 32. He's like, where is everyone? This is a bit boring now. But anyway, we look forward to seeing you guys in Baku. Let us know your thoughts on what's going on at Ferrari. How do they fix it? And if you agree or disagree with Matisse and Joe. For more information and an in-depth look on how Ferrari can fix that car, head over to planetf1.com. The link is in the description.